I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
I want you to get mad.
Glitch paradox is unfiltered. Parental discretion is strongly advised.
Isn't that powerful? $50 or more.
This is Glitch Paradox Podcast.
I don't know why you're starting recording. We're on. Welcome everyone to another edition of the. Oh, this is a special edition of the Glitch Paradox Podcast. It's a Halloween themed one. Of course, I'm your host, Big Rich, along with Mad Squirrel, and we got a special guest. Looks like P. Biden or P.B. Biden.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh man! Wow.
It's good to see you, Biden. Thanks for joining us.
I look forward to the show tonight. I was told that you were going to show me the thing.
The thing. How'd you know?
Oh man!
I get all the questions ahead of time.
Gotta show them
That's
the thing.
true.
That way, I have all the answers. I just don't say them because I like secrets.
The whole thing is a big secret, this whole administration so far.
And normally, I would be showing my handsome face, but I fell in a pool of toxic sludge, and I didn't wipe it off in time, and yeah.
Looking
That's
kind of
what
rank.
happens when you don't get vaccinated.
Yeah, I guess, I learned my lesson. I was on the whole anti-vax stance, I didn't do it, and now look at me.
But now you have beautiful blue eyes. What a turn of events.
I can't pull any holes right now. I'm so disappointed.
Okay. Oh my God.
No.
So, real question though on your current facial structure, how hot is it in that thing?
Luckily I have the AC on and the ceiling fan, so it's not too bad. But if I'd be sweating like a pig if I didn't have no air on or anything right now, because it is, even though it's cool, it's still a little muggy in here.
Right. Just wondering.
Like
Biden,
if someone didn't have good lungs, they would pass out in this thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So then I could probably handle 2 masks.
Very possible.
Wow.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Wow.
Thanks for everyone joining us. We're just gonna pre-celebrate Halloween. I'm dressed up semi in my stuff. So
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't bought a mask of any sort for Halloween. I can't even tell you the last time I did it.
it's been a while.
The last time I even I think I was like in 8th grade. The last time I even dressed up, really.
Right.
Remember? Did you ever watch that movie Dead Presidents when that came out?
Yeah.
Okay, so me and my boy Angel Miranda at the time, we decided in the middle of summer. It was actually, was it? No, it wasn't summer. No, it was during, because we could wear our costumes that week. So we decided it was still, we're still out here in Phoenix, so it's still kind of warm during the day. We decided to dress up as the Dead President's characters. So we put on the makeup and all of that, and wore black shirts and had the little beanie on and all that, and we were sweating like crazy. It was so hot.
Yeah, it's still hot in Arizona.
We had to take all that off.
Like they don't have like a traditional.
Which one of you were wearing the Biden mask? I've only been dead for the last 15 years. You know I'm a senator, right?
Actually, I think you're president now.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you come out on top.
Wow. You know, the sad part is you've been president a while, you know?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't know
Like,
you were a Packers fan either.
Yeah.
I got this jacket from a friend. I got lots of friends. I just don't know what their names are. It's fine.
Yeah. But you know,
Oh God.
fortunately, you know, like my oldest, she don't want to dress up. She's done with dressing up for Halloween. She's like, nope, I'm good. But my youngest, I got her. She wanted to be a vampire, but more like a ghoulish kind of vampire, like a newly turned vampire.
Right.
So she, got her the stuff for that. And then Nina's youngest, Jamie, she wanted to be a witch. She originally wanted to be Scarlet Witch, and then I seen a Scarlet Witch costume. I was like, I don't feel like paying Scarlet Witch costume prices because that thing was almost $300. I'm like, nah, you're gonna be an ugly witch this so I got her the ugly witch mask and the whole outfit.
$300?
Yeah, it was a whole full ensemble Scarlet Witch outfit.
Holy crap.
I'm like, no, not for one night. No, I'm good.
I understand if you were going to reuse it or find other ways to use it.
If I'm spending that much for a Halloween costume, I'm gonna be wearing that thing almost every day.
Oh hell yeah, it's a lot of.
I'm gonna get my money's worth.
Uh-huh.
Put it up in the closet after one night. Nope. Be driving around in it, going to get groceries in it. Just every day.
You're gonna wear that shit swimming.
Making a deposit at the bank, just going up in there. Hey, no, I might get in trouble though because everything I'm robbing if I got.
Exactly. I was gonna say that might end out somewhere.
No. But everywhere else, pet store. If I'm going to Subway.
Maybe go to the nursing home.
Yeah.
Visit some people. Might as well get them in the spirit of things year round.
The nursing home. I've been there once or twice. They said I was too young to move in. They're like, maybe in a few years.
Wow.
Oh, you were denied.
Oh, big time. I don't understand. I just cut him a check.
Oh my God. But yeah, this year getting Halloween stuff together, and Squirrel got his mask from the same place that Big Rich got his because there just wasn't anywhere local to get it, and a lot of stores were out of stock and all that stuff.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could. I was a little bit of help and.
Oh yeah, he got the classic, or what is it, zombie Jason mask, the one with the crack.
Oh, okay.
So that's the one he has.
Nice.
So he's like, he's gonna sit in the yard.
You don't want to have too much crack, though.
Yes, you got to be careful. Oh my, that opened a Pandora's box, if you will. How's Hunter doing, by the way? Is he doing well?
Somebody told me that he's out there somewhere.
He's on a international tour under an assumed name.
What's going on? Oh, that's right. We're doing a thing. Yep, we're doing something.
We're doing a thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, he's got his notes. He knows what's up.
Oh man!
Vaccinated.
Have you guys checked?
He likes to whisper a little bit. Biden likes to whisper.
So have you guys?
That's how you know I'm being serious.
Wow. Have you guys checked off any movies yet so far this month?
Ooh. I know in this house they've been watching quite a few. They watched The Terrifier, and they said that's probably the best Halloween movie they've seen.
Where's this Terrifier?
Is it the one with that clown?
Yeah.
That crazy? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They were like, that's probably the best one they've seen so far this month.
Yeah.
So I
don't know why I sat down and watched the Human Centipede again. I don't know why I was bored.
Dude, why? I'm like, why?
Oh, but I don't know. I guess it's just I was just thinking about that. Like that would be such a messed up situation to be in.
Dude, there's so many things messed up about that situation.
The part where you gave that dude. Oh,
needs a
what did he
minute.
feed that dude? He gave him some what do you call it? The part where he made the dude like shit,
Yeah.
and the other girl, laxative. Yeah, he gave him some laxative, and and the other girl, the girl at the end, died of it because she. Oh man,
That's
yeah, I sat down and
nasty.
watched that, and then I watched, of course, my normal yearly movies I'll watch in October. I watched Adam's Family Values,
Right.
Hocus Pocus, and I watched. I was watching Freddy versus Jason. I watched the new Halloween. Um, I watched Jason X for whatever reason.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, they actually are gonna I think they watched that one today.
Jason X
Again, yeah. Because what makes more sense but space?
and a souped up Jason, Platinum Plus Jason.
Mm,
I
it's
See, they
excellent.
watched
actually, I actually went to the theater to go see that one.
what did they watch? They watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one
Oh
from
yeah, okay, I did
the
that too. I watched,
1995 one.
oh wow, they went back. Okay.
Yeah, and then they watched Jason X today because they had to watch Jason X, of
Hmm.
course. But they have on their list. Geez, I know that Calm Squirrels watched quite a few. They did not like Fear Street. You know the
Yeah, I watched both of them, and to me, it was kind of cheesy. Like
yeah.
I didn't.
Jeez.
I will say this: I'm glad, and I'm a big fan of R.L. Stein. I mean, we all grew
Right.
up reading Goosebumps and watching the series, but I'm glad that those two movies was straight on Netflix, not in the theater.
Yeah.
Like that movie made sense for like to be on Netflix or Hulu or something.
Right.
It's something you would watch once and be like, you forget all about it.
Yeah. That's kind of what they were saying because they were like, I don't know why they made a sequel.
Yeah,
Like
like
they
it
don't
was
know
hard for
why.
me to get through the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They were like the
I
first one was
really
just
like.
badly written. They were
Yeah,
like,
I was just
it
like,
was bad, I
God.
guess, because
Yeah.
his sister, Com Squirrel's sister, referred him to it. Right? She liked it, so he
Hmm.
was like, okay. He watched. He didn't like it at all. He's like, it was just poorly written, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
he goes like, it was so cheesy,
It
and
really was. Like
he's like, it could have been more. That's his thing. He
yeah.
was like, it could have been so much more, but it was like, it seemed like it was completely directed at, like a teen crowd,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
Exactly. That's what I thought of it. I'm just like, but I
Right.
watched it. I was like, whatever. Oh, and I watched one of my favorites, Mothman Prophecies. I
Oh
always
yeah,
think,
that's a good
oh
movie.
man, I'll never get tired of that movie. Like they
No,
did to me, they did such a good job with so little in that movie. It was just, I just loved how they did it. They did a
yeah,
real good job with it.
I liked it a lot. It was a great.
Yeah.
I think it was well written. It was well put together. It kept your attention. Like I liked it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And it
they
wasn't no
were
like gore. It wasn't like anything
right.
like that. It was more just
No
a psychological.
thriller.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just the way they put it together was, and it wasn't even like a big budget movie. I don't think.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It
we went
wasn't.
to go see that one in the theater because me and my mom both was like waiting for it. Yeah,
It was
so
pretty good. They did a good job on it. Richard Gere did well.
yeah, yeah.
But
My mom's always been a fan of his.
what was that? The kids watched Signs tonight the first time.
Wow. Okay.
The little ones did. The little ones, right?
Okay.
Because it's
Okay.
like PG-13,
Yeah.
And yeah, the jump scares, right? They had a couple, and I was, like they came in and were telling me this little squirrels were like, oh yeah, that part at the birthday party, like they're
Oh yeah,
watching.
yeah. When it walked the thing back
Yeah,
up.
and they were like, that's messed up. I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
That was like the last movie before he fell off.
yeah. Like I like The
Before
Village.
the
I know
night
a lot of
fell off,
people
that was
didn't
like
like it, but I
when I
liked
went
it.
to go see the village. The village on is where he just.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still mad about the village.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
was
like
so
The
mad about
Village.
that.
We went and saw
Yeah.
The Happening in
Oh, The
theaters.
Happening is trash. I hated that movie right up until I seen
The only one that I
the
think he did
The
all
Luke
writers-
Skywalker movie where he's trash and is drinking titty milk. The titty milk. You remember the? I remember the titty milk.
What's the movie? What was it? Split. Split was okay.
The new one, the one that has like James McAvoy in it.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like a sequel to
Unbreakable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Now Split was
yeah.
okay.
They liked
was
that
all right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was that one, that found footage one. The kids went to go visit their grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
What is it called? The Visitor or something? Or I forgot the
Yes.
name of it. But yeah.
Yep.
That one was all right.
Yeah, it's like M. Night has a very different type of technique of storytelling. And
Yeah. Well, he made me mad when he did the Avatar movie. I was like, you motherfucker.
he's like, well, everyone needs some cash. That's what I took it as. Yeah, like he obviously needed money to do something.
Yeah, people were heated when they watched that because it's like you watched the animated
Airbender
series. The animated series was so
Mhm.
good,
Mhm.
and people were so anxious for the live action movie. And then when that came out, you're like, really, M. Night?
Yeah, like I was like, well, you need money. That's what I took it as. This dude needs money.
Yeah.
Because like it was total trash.
I
was like,
was just surprised that the creators, like even watching, because you know how the studio and all them they sit and watch the screening of it.
right.
I'm surprised that they were, after the screening, they're like, man, this is hot. Yeah, go ahead and put that out. Like
Right.
I'm shocked that they gave him the okay for that movie.
That was true. They were just like,
I
well,
would have been like, nope, start it off.
they all wanted money. They were just
Rewrite
like,
it.
here,
Yeah.
throw this shit and see if anybody likes it. That's what I took it as.
They walked out of the because they're doing the series on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a series on Netflix, and the creators was like, yeah, we have creative differences, so we're out.
There's always creative differences.
Yeah.
It's just like, when you start getting into the Mortal Kombat discussions and shit like that, creative differences. Oh God. Hollywood's
Well,
looking at
combat's what I fight every day.
Well, Archie, I mean, look, at least you can have a good conversation about that, and I'm not hitting you with no scary clips or anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm watching
wait,
you.
no, why are you saying like that? Like, what's up?
We all know. I know. Like, okay, this is what Big Rich does. Like, we'll be going back and forth about Earth Change stuff and, DMing each other back and forth. He'll send me some clips of different shit. And all of a sudden, there'll be this random clip. Oh, my. And so, Biden's breathing heavily. Anyway, so these clips
That
will
was
be
my machine.
Oh, okay. I see. He's boosting himself up a bit. You got to get that oxygen flowing. But
Thank you.
so but yeah, it'll end up being some jump scare clip though that Big Rich sends me. It will be at some point. It's just inevitable.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm chilling.
Liar.
Why don't you go ahead and share a screen for me?
See, I know what this is. I see it already.
I don't know what you're talking about.
See? Nah. It all starts out like this. You got those little flashlights, like being in the fool walking through the woods. What's that noise?
It's actually a little advertisement for a cute little toy.
Bullshit.
Plain it.
Oh, dude, no. Why you gotta do that? No, I don't want to hear it.
Wow.
I don't want it. Nope. See.
Fuck.
See, I knew it was gonna blow up my headphones. This is the one he sent me earlier. Oh, hell no. Nope. He sent this one, and it was like in between a couple other videos of other information. Mm-hmm. The moment I saw that flashlight, I was like, this is gonna be some bullshit.
Nope, not doing it.
Dude.
You okay?
Killing me, man. Earlier today I was looking at because I used to run a ghost hunting group, and Rich knows about that.
You used to hunt me?
Every day. Very elusive. So we used to run this group, and we did it for quite a while. I did it with different people. And Mostly it was in Arizona. I did a little bit in New Mexico, and traveled to a lot of different places and did a lot of EVP work and other stuff, also with ghost boxes and camera work. And we would also help people with residencies, and we did a Mason Lodge investigation because it was having all kinds of weird shit going on there. But yeah, but the EVPs were one of those things that was always really cool to have, because it was usually, if people don't know, it's electric voice phenomenon. So when you record something, you're picking up what the human ear can't hear, because it's a frequency type thing. So electronics will pick it up sometimes. And so we used to pick up EVPs a lot, and at different locations. And it was usually, you could tell a lot about the location based on what type of, quote, hauntings or non-hauntings, because we found a lot of non, to be honest. A lot of it was, sometimes it was the people that lived there, they brought stuff with them. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So baggage, or maybe there was like abuse, drug abuse, things like that going on in the home that was contributing to other problems. So those are things that we were always looking for. And in the sense of, okay, is this a legitimate, experience that's being had, or is it environmental? Is it something with like too much EMF in a president, or, like around a residence? So then I was having one of those throwback moments though about EVPs. And so I went hunting around looking at EVP stuff. So I have some stuff for that, but like clips and things like that people have picked up. But EVPs, it's kind of like discretionary. You really have to really, when I was going through, when you go through all this audio of, like, let's say a 2-hour investigation, somebody has to sit there and listen to 2 hours of audio, all the way through and clean it up as they go. So that way you can decipher if it's environmental or if it's something else. And so, like, there's been times where we picked up audio. I'm still mad at myself because I had a lot of the audio set aside a long time ago, because it's been a minute since I did all that. But I had some really clear EVPs of interactions. There was this old cemetery we went to, and people say, oh, going to old cemeteries, that's just bullshit, blah, blah, blah. People always pull that crap. But this one particular one had a reputation. And so we went out there, and during the day, because if a place is haunted, it's haunted regardless if it's night or day. So this bullshit that, oh, the ghouls come out only at night. I'm like, have a seat,
That's why they don't let me out at night.
That's true. That's true. Because that might be an issue.
It's unsafe, which is strange because I'm vaccinated.
I think you're unsafe for other reasons. Just saying. Sniffy sniff. But
did you say that you listened to 2 hours of audio?
Yeah.
It would take me at least 4, only because I like to listen very closely.
And slowly. Slow and close. But yeah. So we were at a cemetery though, and there was a lot of activity at this particular one. So, and we had people that were telling us stuff, like, meaning they have family that were buried there, and they were like, I've had a lot of weird stuff happen at this one cemetery, and they're older people, these are younger people too. So we went out there, and we were just kind of walking around, just being careful not to, bump into any of the tombstones, things like that. There was this one grave though, it was with a mother and child. And it was separate tombstones, and it was heavily overgrown to the point where you couldn't even see the headstone. It was covered in mud. It looks like landscapers didn't clean up after themselves, that kind of thing. Yeah. So one of my friends and I were just like, let's clean up the moms and the babies, because it's out of respect for the gravesite. So we were just cleaning off the headstone, wiping stuff off, and just cleaning it up. And we were letting the recorder go during this time, so you can hear us talking. I wish I had this audio. But we were talking back and forth, and as we're cleaning, there's a woman's voice that comes in, and we were by ourselves. It wasn't a busy day by any means of people visiting that day. And you could hear a woman's voice, and she was like, keep doing that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh,
and like,
wow.
It was really clear. And I was like, oh shit, dude. Because we heard it like later on when we went back to the house and we were just talking. I said, what, I'm going to go start reviewing the audio if you want to join me. Right. Yeah. So we're going through the audio, and it was only like, we only had that day like about an hour, because we weren't there very long, just to kind of like scope it out, talk to the caretakers there and, find out visiting hours, things like that for what we were trying to do. And you could hear it very clearly. And it was a woman's voice, and I assumed it was the mom, but she was very like clear. It sounded like she was talking directly into the microphone.
Wow.
And it was crazy. And so I was thinking back, I'm like, where did I have the recorder? I had set it down in the grass next to the tombstone while we were working to clean it up. So that's where it was. It wasn't moving, and there was nobody around us. And you can hear her and I talking, and our voices are very distinct. And then this woman's voice comes in, and it's, she says it a couple of times throughout as we're talking. So we isolated it, and it was just the segment of a conversation. So there's a lot of cool like devices that are out, like ghost boxes, spirit boxes, what people call. They they believe that like Tesla was doing this essentially with his gramophone. Do you remember that story about he had a couple visitors over time that came to visit him, and also people that lived in this, because he was living in squalor. He wasn't in a good place at that point in his life. But they said that he was talking to someone in his room, and he told them that he was talking to Mark Twain because they had been really good friends. And it was through the gramophone. And he had somehow basically, in a sense, made a spirit box then. And
I've seen some pictures of like, a couple of people were able to contact the other side, and some of them showed like projections, images of whoever they were trying to reach.
Yeah.
And it was pretty crazy. So I was like, wow. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah.
Like, I don't know if, there was a lot of people that said he was doing that. Of course, they thought he was just gone kind of senile crazy and all that shit. Yeah. But I think that he was. Like, there's a big chunk of me that believes that he was, because he was so involved in free energy and different forms of technology that people essentially stole away from an immigrant.
They borrowed. Okay, they didn't steal.
Yeah, borrowed. That's code for Chase Manhattan Bank.
The museums do it all the time, so
exactly. They did it to Greece. Nobody complained, right?
Yeah, they're just borrowing it. They'll give it back eventually.
Like after someone's dead, they're like, "Here you go."
And it's crazy because I told you my story, like after my mom passed, the kind of dreams I had that were so real that like she was talking to, like it was, I'll never forget. Them dreams are like embedded in my head,
right?
Because this was just like a day or two after she passed. So I definitely believe in that because I've experienced it. I experienced with my best friend, his grandpa. I remember one night we were out because he told me how when they were kids, his grandpa used to always have a pocket full of change and would give it to him. They'd go to the ice cream man.
Right.
And I was at my boy Marcus' house, and one night, it was like early 2000s. I was sitting on his couch watching Gargoyles for whatever reason, and he was on the computer. He was on the computer. Then all of a sudden, all the lights went out, and you just heard change. Just jingling. He was like, "Oh, don't worry, it's my grandpa." I'm like, "Are you crazy?" Like I was freaked out.
Right.
Because I've never experienced something like that at all in my life. And he was just like, "Yeah, it's just my grandpa." I'm like, "You don't hear that?"
It's like when
crazy.
Like that. I believe in all that, obviously. But in our family, we have certain objects that people are attached to, and now, it's a kind of a semi-long story. I've told this story with you before because it's one of those things. Because now we're on YouTube, and it's kind of a different, now we're like having to kind of take back, go back in time a little bit to stuff that we've talked about before, but it's still relevant. But it was my grandfather. We have like a family heirloom through our family of arrowheads, and I'm the caretaker of them. That's how we look at it. We're caretaking it because it's family stuff. So he made these beautiful frames for them. There's all, after all the years of having them just sitting in a box, from family and time. And, Native history does that. You hang on to what you have that was been handed down to you. And so he made these really beautiful frames, put them in a display. He was very proud of them, it very much so. It's like people would come over, like his guy friends, he'd be like, you want a beer and do you want to see my arrowheads? That was like his thing. So after he passed away, because he died of Alzheimer's, so you know, it was a long run. But anyway, my mom had the arrowheads in her house at the time, and she made the mistake because my grandfather liked to present them, you know, in like, you know, more like a main room. So she moved them. And I remember this very distinctly because she moved them. And then the next, I don't know, it was early morning. She was getting ready for work and she was in her bathroom. And the way that her wall of her bathroom in our old house was, it extended into the main living room where the arrowheads used to be displayed, you know, with our family stuff. Well, she had moved them into a guest room, you know, just to kind of tuck them away. And I had warned her, I'm like, I don't know how that's going to go. Well, she was by herself at home. You know, her husband had already left for work. She was by herself. And she said it sounded like someone broke into the house because there was like this loud thud. Like it sounded like a piece of furniture fell over. It was that loud and it shook the wall. And so she panics. Like she had like her own gun. She used to be a former police officer. So she went and got her gun. And she's like, what the hell, right? So she's checking the house, securing the house, sees nothing. There's nothing falling down. There's nothing broken. Nothing. She's checking all the rooms. Nothing. And my mom, she calls me, right? And she's like, she was convinced it was my grandfather, right? Mad at her because she moved him. And then after that, previous to that, and this is the problem with when you have activity in a house, you don't always know that it's activity. You just think it's somebody else doing something in the house, right? Like, oh, he did this, you know, or so-and-so did this. Well, my grandfather was very obsessed with the air conditioner, keeping it like he would mess with it a lot when he was alive. So he would like turn it really low or really high. You know, he'd just get up and mess with it a lot when he was living. And this is the same house they all lived in together at one point. We all did. And so my mom started having her thermostats break. It was like she had her first one break right after he died. She didn't think anything of it. She just thought, okay, she went ahead and replaced it out. It broke again. So she had the electrician come out, put in a new one. That broke again. So she went through 4 different thermostats. And during the time before or after they would break, there was always somebody messing with the heat or the cold. So we lived in Arizona at the time, dude. So like you can't be having your house at 80 degrees during the summer.
No.
So it's like, I'm serious. So she's like, I wasn't living there. She calls me. She's like, I think your grandfather's messing with the thermostat. She's like, the electrician's been out here. He's checked everything. It's nothing to do with that. We've had all these thermostats break because they had like a digital one. Then they had a different kind of digital. Then they went to just the standard one, you know, the old school one where you're just moving it around. That broke. So she got a lockbox with a whole different type of thermostat completely. Had a new electrician put this one in. And that lasted about 6 months. And it did it again. And there was no way that you could access that panel. She's like, she'd been in there. There's only one key and she had the damn key because she was like, it must be my husband doing this, right? Her husband at the time. It wasn't him. So that story passed on. You know, my mother passed away. I got the arrowheads, you know, put them in the main room. I had them in the hall. I hadn't put them up yet. This is when we still lived in Arizona at the time. I had them still in case, left them alone because I was still moving stuff in. I didn't have time. And he broke our thermostats. We had 2 thermostats break in a short period of time because we had to have the apartment come and send one of their electricians. Like they actually had to call someone in to do it. And we went through, by the time we got to the second thermostat, because the first one was digital, they took it out, put in a regular normal one, put the arrowheads up, he stopped. Like it stopped everything. We didn't have any more messing with I wasn't messing with the AC. Nobody else was too, because it was too high up. The kids were too little. And it was just erratic. He was messing with it all the time, the heat and the cold. And I knew it was him. So like, I do believe that stuff because he's attached to those.
And you finally put in the right one. Like, good. Now, don't touch it.
Right. Leave my shit alone. Put my stuff where they belong. And then I'll leave you alone.
Exactly.
I guess. So I remember when I figured out that this, like it clicked because I had forgotten about all these thermostat issues and stuff at my mom's. And I'm standing there in the hall and I'm like, okay, I'll put your stuff up, but stop touching the damn thermostat. You're going to, we're going to pay in the apartment a lot of money or something,
Yeah.
because they're going to think we did it,
Like
But
5-1. Jeez.
dude, and it happened. It didn't break our thermostat, but he would mess with it, and it happened a couple times. But he only does it, I think, for certain times of the year or certain reasons. It's weird, but the biggest thing is if they're not on display or put up properly, he gets pissed. And
I would too. I tell myself when my time comes, I'm gonna mess with my daughters and Nina and everybody every day. Figured,
right,
I'm already dead. I might as well just
right.
messing with everybody.
Are you still there, Biden?
Oh yeah, I was just I was doing applesauce.
All this ghost talk needs a jump scare.
Oh my God.
But
I'm supposed to have Jill screen these for me.
Jill's the one that probably sent them.
I have her screen all the videos from Kamala just in case.
wow.
Oh God. Oh my God. Hold on one second.
What?
There we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, dude, see, you sent me this before. Why you got to be doing this shit? Yeah, I know what this is. I see you. You there, Rich?
Did he freeze?
Yeah, I think he did.
On the play button.
Even his screen froze.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. It all froze at once.
So, you know what? I'll make up for that. I apologize. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry about it. Got you, girl. Ready?
Hold on. Oh, man. I like how you turn up the volume. That's nice.
Just so everybody can hear it.
Yeah. I'm taking it out of my ear if it gets in my ear. I swear to God. See, I don't need this. I don't need this. No. Oh, no. This is why you don't go into caves. No, like these people that go, what do they call it? Spelunking or whatever. I'm like, you've seen enough horror movies. Like there's always some kind of demon in there. Or alien.
You go and mess with somebody's home. What do you expect?
So long, EVP. I'm going through my links real quick because I set aside a few. Like, there's a lot of ghost hunter sites that have their EVP stuff up, and then there's others that, they have a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm just pulling up.
I don't believe you.
That's a horrible EVP. What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say?
Oh no, I was.
Let's see here.
I'm just
pulling up
checking out something here.
That's loud as hell. Holy shit. Okay, so there's this voices from a website.
I hear voices.
That is true. I know you do.
All day long. Chirpity, chirp, chirp. And I just needed a nap.
Makes sense. But this is, they have some ghost recordings off this one particular website. A lot of all the links will be in the description box for this video. But they have a lot of different ones. Some of them, it's all based on context. And if you don't have like the full clip, you know what I mean, of like the actual context of where the EVP was coming from or what was going on at the time, it doesn't really make sense. They do try to give you some details on like the EVPs. This one I'm going to share here in a second. I'm just going to open up the file first. It's a little loud. But this is an EVP. Why did it do that? Science. That's why.
No, don't blame it on science. That was you.
Ha!
Did that.
So it says meet Paralee. This is a interesting sound file that we have here. Voices of my daughter and myself talking. Megan is my daughter. She was commenting on how the older style of the names on particular tombstones, and this was at Antoc Cemetery in South Beaver. Is that Missouri? Yeah, it looks like Missouri. Sure, it's probably, yeah, I think so. One name in particular caught her interest is Paralee, and she is heard on the tape commenting on the name on the tombstone. However, when you listen carefully, what you hear is the faint voice of a little girl repeating it again right after, this little girl's, saying it out loud. So what
little girl smelled good.
Wow.
Biden's inappropriate, but
Very.
we all know that. So this is just the EVP for that, and I'm going to pull that up. Some of the EVPs are very long, but I tried to get like shorter ones just to kind of bring up so we can hear it. So give me 1 second. Just going to do that.
Hurry up. No. I should sip some water while you wait. Oh, okay. You actually did it.
Yeah. So it is a little. Oh wait, hold on. I want to make sure I got the not too blazingly loud. There we go. Oh, fucking hell. It's what it does. Yeah.
You need to add the Jeopardy music.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I had to. Okay, there it is. All right, so here's the audio file. It's a little loud, so I apologize. But once again, this is the lady and her daughter talking, and you hear her daughter talking. She's obviously quite, louder.
Yeah. There's one over there that was Paralee. First name Paralee.
So you hear the little girl tucked in.
Yeah,
there,
I heard something. Yeah, it sounded like a little girl.
I'm going to do it one more time.
There's one over there that was Paralee.
Yeah, I hear it.
Did you hear that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the kind of EVP stuff that's how our audio had been when we picked up, at the cemetery. It was like that. It was tucked as if they were talking right on the heels of our words at times, and it wasn't our voices because it was so distinct. But that sounds a little more distant with the voice of that little girl. But there was when we did, I'm not naming what location we did the investigation of the Mason Lodge, but there was a lot of unusual activity at that lodge. And we were called in because it was a combination of they'd had investigators out there before, and they kind of were trying to determine if it was a natural occurring thing or if it was EMF. Personally, I think there was an EMF issue in the building that was causing a lot of weird disturbances. We set up cameras in their back, what would be their banquet or little room, near the kitchen.
Right.
And so we had cameras up back there, and we were there late. We were there way late at night, and maybe midnight, because that's when a lot of the activity was going on in that particular building. So during the day, there was little things that were going on, but it was at nighttime that they were having the disturbances because it would set off the security systems. And so that's why we went at night. So the table, we had 2 cameras set up on some tables, just watching, the broad spectrum of the room. So the chairs and banquet tables and stuff like that in the kitchen area. And so there had been activity in the kitchen. People were finding stuff missing or broken or misplaced a lot in that area. So we focused on that one. And one of the chairs moved. So we actually had on camera of a chair being kind of pulled out.
Right.
And then pushed back in, as if somebody had sat down and then got back up and pushed the chair back in. And this location had only ever been used as a Mason Lodge. So the cornerstone, everything about the building, this is in, I don't want to give a location.
Did you go to Jerome once? Jerome. I heard that Jerome's pretty.
Yeah, Jerome, Arizona is wild. because for a long time there was a lot of like ghost investigators and people that would go up there because the activity is pretty common. It's kind of like Tombstone, but except Tombstone has more of that, I don't know, the tourism to support it, right? And it's good money if you got ghosts, right? It just is. Jerome has had for a long time like a history of like activity, and I went up there just to scope it out. This was like because we were talking about doing a trip up there like for everybody in our group, and so I just went up there for like a day. And Jerome is located like on the side of a mountain. It's up in the mountains in northern Arizona, and there's a lot of crazy. It's cool. It's a very cool town to visit, and there's a lot of history there, a lot of sad stories. But it's one of the neater places to visit in Arizona. This is from azjerome.com. So wickedest town in the West, but this is it's an old mining town for context, and it has some really beautiful like locations there. You know, the view is beautiful, but it's on the side of a freaking mountain. So, you know, but it says it's located near the top of Cleopatra Hill between Prescott and Flagstaff is the historic copper mining town of Jerome, Arizona. Once known as the wickedest town in the West, Jerome was born in a copper mining camp, growing from a settlement of tents into a roaring mining community. After its founding in 1876, Jerome was at one time the fourth largest city in Arizona, with the population peaking at around 15,000 in the 1920s. The Great Depression slowed the mining operation, and the claim eventually went to Phelps Dodge, who still owns or holds the claim to this day. World War II greatly increased the demand for copper, but after the war, demand decreased dramatically. With Jerome's economy completely dependent upon the demand for copper, Phelps Dodge Mine closed in 1953. The remaining population, around 50 to 100 people, promoted the town as a historic ghost town. In 1967, Jerome was designated a National Historic District by the federal government. So today, Jerome is a thriving tourist artist hub with a population around 450 people. Jerome resides above what was once the largest copper mine in Arizona, which was producing an astonishing 3 million pounds of copper per month. Men and women from all over the world made their way to Arizona to find work and perhaps a new way of life. Today, the mines may be silent, but Jerome has found new life as the largest ghost town in America. Once a thriving mining camp full of miners, bootleggers, gamblers, and prostitutes, now a bustling tourist destination full of artists, musicians, and gift shop proprietors. So it is a neat place to visit. The hotel that's there it's amazing because they had redid it in the 20s, but it was around since obviously like 1800s, right?
Right.
But there's so much history in that hotel there, and I wonder if they have a photo here. I'm going to click over, but it's a really neat place to visit if you happen to go there. So there's the Jerome Grand Hotel. That's the one I'm talking about. That's a neat place. It's obviously one of the types of places they have to constantly renovate, but it's kind of like along the main stretch there in Jerome. It's a beautiful hotel. But they have all these different little, spots there for tourism and stuff like that. But it's really pretty. And there's a lot of tours they do there for ghost hunting, of course. And the regular tour of the actual town itself. Then they have the historic park. And they have like all kinds of little like quirky places to see. But they also do the mine, like tours of their mine camp, the old one.
Right.
So it's pretty neat. But Jerome has a lot of activity there, like a lot. It's one of those unspoken of things. It's in the beginning. Now they're like, grab onto it. It's tourism. But for a long time, it was just known. It was like, shit happens.
Yeah, Jerome. I've been to Tombstone, but it was more to look at the graves and all that. I want my mom. But Sedona is another interesting place because of the energy in Sedona.
Yes.
You hear the stories all the time about the vortexes and stuff and Sedona. So there's definitely some interesting places out here in Arizona.
Absolutely.
Superstition Mountains is another area where people will go ghost hunting and stuff like that. So definitely some interesting places.
And I know when we lived there, and when we lived there, this is Sedona. So just a perspective for
Yeah,
those.
I love Sedona. Sedona's cool.
It's beautiful there. There was a huge, like back in the 90s, going into the early 2000s, there was a huge like push for people to go and see Arizona because of the, vortexes and good energy. It's very much that Crystal Winds hippie stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they go out there, they raise the cost of living.
There's Slide Rock, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And, it is worth absolutely driving up to if you're going to go to Arizona, try to make it up to Sedona just to see that beautiful pink rock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful. And you have all the green. It looks it's like having a piece of New Mexico in a sense too. But it's it's hard to explain, but it's very Arizona because Arizona's got those real rugged cliffs and rocks. I mean, not saying that New Mexico doesn't, but New Mexico, it's like you have to go real north, like Santa Fe, heading up more north
New
there.
Mexico is a lot of flatland too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do have more mountains and mesas and things like that, but this is Sedona, so it's a beautiful place. So if you're kind of into metaphysics or new age stuff, it's a huge mecca, at least it used to be. There's still people there trying to earn a living and, doing their thing, and they like being in that environment. I've been up there quite a bit too.
They got a lot of good hiking areas too.
Yes.
You go hiking. Sedona's a good place to go hiking too.
Highly recommended though for a first time visitor. If you're gonna go to the Grand Canyon stuff, go to Sedona.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
But there's some neat places in other places in Arizona, like Prescott.
Yeah.
I like Prescott a lot.
Yeah, and it's not even like from where it's not even a long drive. You get there within an hour.
Right.
A little over an hour, so it don't take long at all.
No. And Payson is another place that's pretty neat. We went camping in Payson, and we went up to like Strawberry, which is like, a lot of these places have tucked off waterfalls, things that are tucked back, but you have to travel through the mountains to get to.
Yeah.
So you're going to be looking at some rickety roads.
Yeah, there's that man-made beach. I forgot. Is it in Payson? No, where is it at? I forgot the name, but there's a man-made beach out here. I forgot the name of it. It's up north, I believe.
I'm not sure because I heard about it.
Forgot the name of it.
There's a lot of like little like spots. If you want like natural falls, if people are looking for that, there's some in Strawberry. There's a bunch in Tucson. Like I think it's the Seven Falls. It's a hike to get in. It's a hike. I'm telling you right now. So if you have bad knees, don't do it. It's gonna be some rough shit. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But and we went camping up there or down in Tucson and went to the falls, and it was really beautiful. But the man-made lake, I can't remember where that was. Arizona has, quite a few of like these, like Lake Havasu has theirs, right? And things like that. But Scottsdale, are they the ones that ended up with the beach and wave pool?
No, they're building one. They're building like as far as like the amusement park. They're building in Glendale, right by the Cardinal Stadium. They're building Crystal Lagoons.
Oh, okay.
Crystal Lagoons Island Resort that they're building, and they started construction on it back in June.
Mm-hmm.
They got like if they got a live cam here. I'll share the website, but this is what they're building.
Hold on one second. Oh, look at that fanciness.
Okay, so they're building. This is what's being built. It's right off the 101.
Oh, it's tucked out there, huh?
Yeah, in Glendale. Yeah, it's like I said, it's right there by Westgate, right by the Cardinal Stadium.
Okay.
So you get it right off the 101, and then I believe this is Bethany.
That's all fancy.
Yeah, but you're building this 10-acre lagoon, white sands. They're gonna have these hotels, and then they're building a roller coaster, little Mattel theme park with a Hot Wheels roller coaster over here, and all that. So that's supposed to be done because they're getting it done before the Super Bowl in 2023 because the Super Bowl is coming back out here.
That's right.
In 2023, and so they're trying to get this done before then. So, but here's a little video.
That's huge.
Yeah, so Yeah, they're.
There's
It was kind of weird because in Arizona, there's been so many proposals over the years of theme parks being built out here, right?
right,
And every time they proposed one, it's always falling through.
right.
The last big one was called Dreamport Villages. It was supposed to be built in Casa Grande,
Hmm.
and it
I
fell
heard
through.
about that. That didn't
Yeah,
happen, huh? It fell through.
yeah, it fell through. It
There,
was supposed to be
that's the
like
thing
this.
about the city of Casa Grande. Like they always seem to block
Yeah,
stuff from getting done. Casa Grande is tucked more going south towards Tucson. So like,
yeah.
for those who for context, but yeah,
Yeah, so it was supposed to be like this 10 billion or no, was it 10 billion? No, $4 billion project, and it was supposed to be like the Disney World of the West and this big, huge
yeah,
thing because they came with the proposal back in 2017,
right,
and they got the land approved, all that stuff, and blah 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 blah, and then boom, nope, they were supposed to build some rock and roll theme park out in Eloy
yeah. I heard
called
about that crap. Yeah,
Decades. It's called Decades. That fell through. There's
yeah,
supposed to
that
be
was
one out
coming.
in Mesa. There's supposed to be one out on the west side. It was like every time they came out with a theme park, it always fell through. And it wasn't because of the city. The city
Yeah,
was anxious. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll approve
yep,
it. They couldn't come up with the money.
yep. I was gonna say it's the funding, right?
Yeah, they want these big, and I'm like, my thing is, if I'm about to propose something, I'm gonna make sure I have the backing as far as the finances or whatever
Right,
before I decide to come to a city and be like, hey, look, I want to build something here.
right.
I may get the financing, but look at how awesome this would be. So it's just,
They do a lot of talking because you get these California companies, or even like maybe a small amount from the East Coast,
yeah.
and they want to come out and invest and build these parks. And like Phoenix, God, this to get one done in Phoenix, the Six Flags.
Well, the main complaint people have is the weather.
Right.
They were like, well, Phoenix summers are so brutal,
Hmm.
and people could just go to California. We're like, well, not everybody can afford to go to California all the time,
Right.
you know.
As the
So yeah, is it
population
is it
grows.
cool? Yeah, is it a quick drive? Yeah, you get to San Diego 5 hours or whatever. Get to LA 6 7 hours, whatever.
Right.
But not everybody has the money to just go out there and
No,
spend. Do you, do you know how
dude.
much Disneyland tickets are right now?
Oh, I know. Like people don't
You know,
understand that. Like how many people ask me how many times you go to Disneyland, and I'm like, never, because like it's so expensive,
I went
to travel. I
twice.
mean, I'm
I went
sorry.
twice. I went twice. I
Yeah.
went. My mom took us. I was 19, and then I took Tati and Ari when they were. This was back in like 2009.
Mm. Pre-COVID days, do
Yeah.
do.
Now Six Flags is another story. I've been to Six Flags like 7 8 times.
Right.
So
Well,
Six Flags is
Six Flags is affordable. Like
yeah.
we have
Six
one out
Flags,
here.
Knott's Berry Farm. We all went. Took Nina and then we all went in 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you guys did that trip.
Yeah. So Knott's Berry Farm was cheap. Tickets weren't bad at all. So and
Yeah.
it's not far. It's not that far of a drive either. So
No. Like I have
um
friends that were telling me this is before COVID. Now
yeah.
they're, now Disney's having to buckle a little bit, but it's still like too expensive to do a trip for a big family,
Yeah,
you know.
you gotta save. If you don't have money like that where you can go, I know there's people that got money like that where it's not a big deal to go to Disneyland, but the
Right.
average Joe, um,
Right.
you gotta save for that.
Like I've always wanted to take the squirrels, right?
Yeah,
And haven't been able to. It's just so expensive. Like
yeah,
because you have
you
to
gotta
think of,
start like if you're like, hey, let's go do you. If you want to go during the summer, you want to start saving now.
right.
If you're
Yeah.
like, hey, let's make a summer trip, but Cali's so locked down on, you know,
That's
all
it.
that.
And honestly, it's like we've talked about going to Florida to Disney World because I grew up going to Disney World, because we
Yeah,
lived in
yeah,
Florida
yeah,
and it was easy to do Busch Gardens and all
yeah.
this other shit. I want to go to Animal Kingdom like really bad.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, Texas
Epcot,
doesn't Texas have a Six Flags?
yeah, we have one. We have a Six Flags up in San Antonio.
Okay.
So and there's like a Sea World and something else. I don't remember. I know they have a really nice zoo and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But want to take the kids though to Disney. I've been wanting to.
Yeah, if
But
I'm gonna go to Disney, I'm gonna go to Disney World.
yeah,
Like, if I'm
because
gonna go all out,
you can take that tram, right? You
yeah.
can take it to Epcot, and I heard that you can take it to Animal Kingdom. So
Oh, really?
yeah, that's what I heard. So I don't know if that's
Huh.
accurate, but I know that you can take it to Epcot at least. I love Epcot. But you take
Mhm.
that, you just travel and you can go in there and you spend a whole day. So it's like you are getting multiple parks for like one price essentially. And that's the way it used to be. And I
Yeah.
think that's cool because especially with kids, you can only do so much in a day. And then
Yeah,
they
like
did
with Disneyland, because how they have the tickets is you'll either have regular Disneyland ticket
right,
or Disneyland California Adventure,
right.
or you could do the park hopper, where
Yeah.
you could do the day or the 2 day or the 3 day, where you have time to go to Disneyland and then go to. Well, last time I went, we did both in one day, and that wore me out. You go to Disneyland and then go to California Adventure and then back to Disneyland. It was
Yep.
just that where you.
Dude.
So yeah, you would
Yeah.
need a couple of days or whatever.
Like you can ride all the rides. Like I rode all the rides in Epcot in a day.
Yeah.
But when you go to then like Disney World is like a whole nother, that's like a couple of days
Oh yeah.
at least. And that's like a
Yeah.
minimum, but that's the thing is like it's just harder and harder to find stuff like that are family oriented that you can easily
Yeah.
afford. And I think that's why it's cool to have like like places like Jerome, places
Yeah.
like Superstition Mountains, which isn't, I mean, literally I lived in Mesa and I saw them every day, but
Mhm.
you could go out there and just, it's a national park, go park your car, take some freaking water and go walk. And you can go into some of the old, like they have bat caves and stuff up in there.
Hey,
And
that's what my mom did when we couldn't afford to, go to
Mhm.
no theme park. We drove all over Arizona.
Oh yeah, there's a
There's
lot
so
of
many
cool
things to
places.
see out here. Like,
Yeah,
man, we went to Petrified Forest.
that's cool.
We went to the Meteor Crater. Went to Montezuma's Castle. Went to Grand Canyon, Tombstone. We went all over the place.
Yeah, and it's affordable.
The Painted Desert. Went there. Like,
Yeah, that's really pretty. Yeah, Painted
my mom,
Desert's
yeah,
awesome.
mom took us all over the place. So we got to experience that when we couldn't afford to,
Right.
go to a Six Flags or Disneyland and all of that.
Because
You
it's
know,
expensive, like to do theme parks and crap like that. So it's like, one year I did Tucson, all Tucson.
Yeah.
So like I did the Ghost Walk downtown Tucson, and then Tombstone was like, I've been during the summer and during like the fall season, and
Right.
Tombstone's cool in the fall. Like I can handle that. Like going to the Grand Canyon, going during the winter versus the summer is absolutely better because you can
Mm-hmm.
drive right up to the canyon. You're not having to take a damn bus to be
No.
shuttled over and all this bullshit. But like once you see it, you're like, I'm done. Like I loved it in the winter because it was really pretty with snow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We went up there when it was snowing once.
It's cool. Like
It
you see
is.
more animals too. You'll
Yeah.
see like more deer or bear or cat.
Yeah.
Like fucking cats.
Pictures don't do the Grand Canyon justice. You got that.
No.
You got to see that in person.
Yeah.
There-
Like I went.
there's- Yeah. You got to see that in person.
You know what looks better in pictures, not in person, is Niagara Falls. I don't give a shit.
Really?
Oh fuck yes. Like okay, and it because you have that mist that comes off, right? And
Yeah.
it smells like mold. So like it smells
Like
like
I
mold.
trying to get
Man.
this all like yeah.
It stinks. I'm like, God, this sucks. Like
That I see. That's always been on my bucket list.
yeah, it's worth seeing. Don't get me wrong. It's just take an umbrella.
Yeah.
I'm serious, or like a rain jacket or something, because
Yeah, that's why I see a lot of people that got the rain jackets and everything on.
because it's like rain. It's like pouring rain. So
Wow.
I was like, okay, I've had my fill. Like after I saw it, I'm like, look, water. Okay, we can go. Like I'm not an asshole. I don't care. So I'm like, okay, we're done here.
You know what? A cool little place I took. It was just me and the girls, and I took them back in like 2015. Was I went to the Tonto Natural Bridge
Oh,
in Payson.
that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
First time we
It
went
is
there,
pretty cool.
I didn't know. I guess the pictures didn't do justice
No.
at all. So when you
No.
go, it's overwhelming
Yeah.
because you can walk in, you know what I mean? like
And
into the
the
actual
only
natural
killer
bridge.
about that is because you could go all the way. You have to go all the way down
Right.
to go
Or
see
down
it.
those, yeah,
Oh,
down
that
those.
is a walk, man.
Oh my God. And
The
they're like
girls was
kind of
like,
rickety.
"Dad, I had to carry the girls half the. I had to
I,
carry them back up halfway." I'm like, "Oh man,"
it's
because it's
rough.
so steep and stuff when you're
Yes.
going down.
Woo.
Then you have to go all the way back. Oh, that
Yep.
was
That's
brutal.
exactly it. Like
I was like, "Never again am I
mm-mm.
doing."
And like when you try to explain to people, you're like, no, you don't understand. Like,
Yeah, it's a steep walk going down, and then you have to do all that going back up, and the girls are getting worn out. Luckily, they had like some
rest
benches and stuff
areas.
on the
Yeah.
way. Yeah, because
Yep.
man, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
It was, I remember when we went down in there, I was like, okay, because it's steep. So
Yeah,
this is a
yeah, there
picture.
you
This
go.
is
Yeah,
from their webpage for Arizona State Parks. But this is the Tonto Natural Bridge. This one's in Payson, right?
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And they have a lodge there, and they have trails, tons of trails.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that bridge. Excuse me. It's hard to see that. See
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right there,
yeah. You go all the way down, and then
right
you have to
here.
make that trek up. Oh,
Oh, dude, and
oh
it's
boy,
you're
boy.
going down. This is just the lodge that's there, and it's really beautiful. And I mean,
It
it's
is.
worth seeing.
It
But
is.
damn, like I
Yeah.
was like, when we had to go down there, I was like, this is really steep, and so it was like a bunch of us, and it is
Right.
beautiful. And Payson's beautiful. It is the best place I think to visit, even during the summer because it's cooler,
Yeah.
and that's a great summer trip. Is going to
It.
Natural Bridge.
Besides that whole experience, being worn out and everything, it was nice. The girls, they loved it. They loved it, and it actually took them. It was like for Valentine's Day. That was like my Valentine's Day gift for them.
Oh,
It
that's
was to
cool.
take them to there, just me and them, and we just enjoy it. They loved it. But no, they sure did get worn out.
Oh
They're
yeah.
like, Dad, I can't do this.
Oh yeah. And
uh,
this is just talking about there's a waterfall trail. There's different trails that you can take around the natural bridge. It's really beautiful,
yeah,
but it's a lot of it's a lot of walking. Um,
yeah.
and to get down into the actual natural bridge area. So here's the map of the park.
Yeah,
And it's a trek is what that is. But it was
I didn't know.
beautiful.
Like, I never did find out like how long that trail was. It
This-
felt like 2-3 miles altogether going back up because that's what my legs felt like. I was like, man, it took a minute to get down there too. It wasn't nothing quick. It was a walk.
It says here the bridge stands. This is just about the natural bridge. It says it stands 183 feet high over a 400-foot long tunnel that measures 150 feet at its widest point. And so there's different trails, some of that go down in here, and then there's other parts, for different points of the natural bridge.
Right.
But it's beautiful. I'm going to try to find better pictures.
Yeah, I wish it'll take me forever to pull up the pictures I had, but yeah, I took pictures of us on that trip and everything, and because I went and picked them up, I bought them big old stuffed animals um, for Valentine's Day. And they're like, "Come on, let's go." Took them, and they loved it. They loved it. They didn't like that walk, but they loved it.
It is beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
really nice hiking in Arizona for sure.
Well, it wasn't, because I went, from Mesa, it wasn't that long of a drive. Payson's like, from where they were at the time off of Dobson and Southern, or Dobson and Rio Salado, it's like 80 miles.
Right.
So it wasn't that long of a drive.
No, it's a
Yeah.
really, and for a lot of people that don't know, they don't understand. Like a lot of people I know from my family, especially on the East Coast, like they're so accustomed to everything being like right there. So when
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, it's only 80 minutes, and they're like, oh my God, what a drive.
Well, that's how it is, in North Carolina when it came to going to different, like, everything. It's not really that long. The only long drive was going to Charlotte, but Charlotte wasn't even that long. Charlotte's like an hour.
Right.
Going to Raleigh is like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours.
This is
Or
a photo
Raleigh, I
inside
should
the
say. I said
natural.
Raleigh.
This is the natural bridge inside,
Yep.
So it's a really great picture. But honestly, there's a lot of, it's really beautiful and it's huge. and there's a lot of beautiful landscape, and you have your waterfalls and things like that are tucked throughout. And we stayed in Payson for that trip. It was a good trip. But the Natural Bridge by far was a really great day trip, really easy trip. You could do it in a day, but we just stayed overnight because it was chill.
I think like out of all the trips, the ones that took the longest was Meteor Crater or Petrified Forest area, because that's like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, and you're driving through mountains,
Yeah.
and then eventually it's flat, but it takes a while to get there.
So that's a trip you would have to get up early, go out there, do it, and then come back, because it does take some time. It's longer to get out there than it did like Flagstaff. You get to Flagstaff like 2 hours.
Yeah, Flagstaff. That man, I don't like driving up there during the stupid ass winter. Oh my god, because you get black ice and all this crap on there. Just going in.
I do want to go to the snow bowl up there. I gotta go snowing. Like just go skiing. I'm sorry.
It's cool. It's really.
My brothers went up there. The girls have been up there. I'm like, I need to go up there and ski.
Snow bowl, for context for people, is you can go skiing. It's basically like a giant facility there in Flag where when they start getting snow packed in.
Yeah.
People start getting ready to go skiing, and you can go sledding, you can do snowboarding, and all that kind of stuff. And it's really beautiful. Flagstaff's it's a college town. It is what it is. But
I wonder if Mr. Biden is knocked out.
I think he is.
Mr. Biden's knocked out.
Maybe that's relevant. It's relevant.
Yeah.
I had a feeling he got knocked out. I was like, he's probably asleep now, because it is like past that magic moment with Jill.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the girls, because I'm telling them, I'm like, yo, it's October. Y'all need to. So they don't like recommendations from me anymore when it comes to movies and stuff, because I scare the hell out of them. I don't know if you have you watched that series on Netflix, Marianne?
No, I haven't. I don't think so.
Marianne. So I had them watch Marianne.
Oh.
And all I heard when the show was going on, I'm in here gaming, and all I heard was them screaming, and I'm just sitting here with an evil laugh.
It's always about how much damage you can lay out over time, because these are older, what do they go by? What do you call the girl? I guess it's just the girls, but the girls are they're I wouldn't do this if they were real young. They're all teenagers. Oh yeah. You got to damage them when they're teens a little bit. Just a hint, like a dollop of paranoia.
My oldest one keeps testing me. She's like, Dad, you can't scare us with it. I'm like, all right. They won't even play some of the video. So I told them there's this video game, Alien Isolation.
Oh, God.
They won't play that. They tried it. They're like, nope. I told them The Evil Within. I tried to have them. Now Ariana and Jamie sat there and played The Evil Within Part 2 for like a couple hours, but they couldn't handle it no more because it was too scary.
Yeah.
So, they don't take my recommendations anymore.
I wonder why. Maybe giving them a heart attack at a young age is wrong.
No, Marianne, they won't watch Marianne again. They watched it that once, they're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
They won't do it again.
I don't blame them.
I'm like, why? What did I do? The house on Hill, the haunting of Hill House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they won't watch that either.
And now, are you talking the classic one?
No, they did a new series on Netflix.
Okay, I was just making sure.
It came out. Was it last year? It came out last year, I want to say.
I don't remember, but it was recent.
Yeah,
because that was different.
And then the same people made another series. It was called. It was based off these old books. Something that Eli Manor or something Manor. I gotta find it.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, but that didn't do nothing. But the Haunting of Hill House and Marianne, they just refused. They're like, nope, there's nothing you can do to make us watch it again. Now, did you ever watch those VHS series movies? The VHS movies?
The VHS movies?
It was called VHS.
It sounds familiar. I might have watched
basically, one. The premise was they stumbled across these old. The first one was them stumbling across this house that they went into that had all these old VHS tapes.
Okay.
And I don't know why they went into this house, but anyway, they came across this stash of VHS tapes. They put it in the VHS and watched all these. And each little episode of each tape was something crazy. And by the end of the movie, they got killed or whatever.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then,
this.
yeah, so they came out with another one, VHS 94, that just came out
Mm.
last week. And so it's on this streaming. It's like this horror streaming.
Oh, Shutter.
Shutter. Yep. It's on Shutter.
Okay.
And so they just released that. I watched the trailer. I'm like, I might check it out because I actually did enjoy watching the VHS series.
Yeah, it's been a
Those,
while.
those movies are okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
the
have-
movie. Yeah, I walked away from it going, okay. Like you kind of saw it coming,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like shocking necessarily.
Yeah. No, it was just it was something different, a little different. Not necessarily found footage stuff has been going on for a
Blair
while
Witch
now.
started it.
Yeah, but I think what killed it after you had Paranormal Activity come out.
Yeah.
After that, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. Blair Witch. When Blair Witch first came out,
Yeah, that was the one
and
started.
that was kind of like the start of the whole found footage movies, and took off after that. And then when Paranormal Activity came out, that took it to a different level. But yeah,
There's a movie that it's on their list to watch, but they're covering like their bases because they had to miss a couple of days because scheduling. But this is the one that's on their list right now.
Okay.
And this came out in 2018. It's a found footage one as well.
Oh,
They're
okay.
at a haunted asylum, and this is a Korean movie.
Oh, okay.
So I can't even pronounce it. Without,
Gonjiam?
you're probably right. Gonjiam Haunted
It
Asylum.
sounds right, yeah.
But it's 2018. I think this is on Amazon right now, I think. But I wonder what it's on. Let me see. You can rent it on Prime.
Prime. Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon Prime. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the reviews were good. I don't know what most people gave it a 6.4 out of 10. That's not bad. But it's a found footage film, kind of like along the lines of Blair Witch and so on. But it's like a bunch of friends go into this. So it says the crew of a horror web series travels to an abandoned asylum for a live broadcast. It soon encounters much more. It soon encounters much more than expected as it moves deeper inside the nightmarish old building. Dun dun dun. So anyway, that's one that's on their list. That when you mentioned found footage, that's the one that is more recent. But Blair Witch kind of started this crap, and then Paranormal Activity took it and ran with it. So yeah.
What was that one? Did you ever see The Taking of Deborah Logan?
I remember the name. I don't think I've watched it.
That was an interesting one. Because it gave the premise that it was a movie about a documentary of someone's mother that's going through the stages of Alzheimer's.
Okay.
But it turns out real like.
So it's this came out in 2014.
Yeah.
Okay. It says
I don't know.
elderly woman battling Alzheimer's disease agrees to let a film crew document her condition, but what they discover is something far more sinister going on. Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know because I'm trying. It was on Netflix for a while. It may still be on. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I'm not.
It probably is. Yeah. Let's see what it says there.
Yeah, it is. So it is included. Like if you have Amazon Prime, it's on there. You can watch it. For
Okay.
free. So yeah, it's still on Amazon Prime.
What did you think of that one?
It was okay. It wasn't like towards the end. It was pretty crazy. Like when you see her, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it or anything, but it was all right. Like it wasn't nothing like, oh man, like and the rating is probably right 6 out of 10. It was all right. It's 6 or 7 out of 10.
That's not bad.
It's one of those where you'll watch it the one time, you're like, oh okay, and then forget about it
Like
after.
I'm looking at their list, see what films that because they do the calm squirrel and the eldest squirrel. They get together, the eldest of the house here. They get together and watch their yearly, Halloween marathon of films, which they call it Frighttober. God bless. Anyway,
I downloaded what you sent me, but I don't fill it out. I just watched.
yeah, we just threw films in there.
Yeah.
Like because they were going over the films they wanted to grab or they heard about, but they didn't know enough about it. That
Yeah,
kind of
I
stuff.
got a lot to watch this week and weekend.
This is one of the movies. They haven't seen it yet. It's just on their list. The Mortuary Collection, and that's from 2019. Ratings, it's 6. They give it a 6.4 out of 10 on the rating scale. But it's an eccentric mortician who recounts several macabre and phantasmal. This is my language barrier today. I can't pronounce that. Fuck my language. Several macabre tales, and he encounters in his distinguished career that he's encountered. Okay, so anyway,
this is not a found footage film, right?
This is a little. Okay. It's kind of like storytelling, almost like it makes me wonder if it's like the Tales from the Crypt, but just through the eyes of a mortician.
Oh, okay. So you just like recalling.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And this film, I think, is on Prime. Okay, it's on AMC with Prime Video.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's one of the films. But that was one on the list because they were trying to get new films in there because there's so many classic ones.
Yeah.
But this is from 2019. But they were trying to get newer films that had been released more. So when they watched Terrifier, they were holy shit.
That one is something else, man.
Because they have some classic films on the list, like Demons from 1985, The Beyond from 1981, Reanimator. I think they watched Reanimator already. That's from 1985. Cube is one that's on the list for 1997.
Oh, wow. I haven't watched that in forever.
Right. Because Com Squirrel was like, oh, we got to get some of those, little gems that snuck through, that didn't get a lot of attention at the time. The other one that's on the list is Apostle from 2018.
Yep.
You saw that one, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, yeah.
It was all right. Yeah.
They watched
Split with
so.
me, when it comes to horror movies or whatever, it takes a lot for me to be interested. Like I'll watch, it has to be something crazy where I'm like, wow, this is something else. Like for example, it wasn't a horror movie, but The Mist.
Yeah.
When that came out, and I watched that, it wasn't like it wasn't scary or anything. It was just what got a lot of people was the messed up ending to that movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. The whole movie's
that
messed
ending
up.
was just so messed up. I'm like, man,
psychological thriller type stuff.
Yeah, that ending was just so jacked up. I'm like, that guy, he's never gonna be right for the rest of his life.
Nope.
He's done. He is gonna be in a insane asylum for the rest of his life if he doesn't kill himself. Like. Right. That was just crazy.
It's like some of the films, it's like when it comes to horror for me, I guess it's like, I think there's a lot to draw from reality.
Yeah.
So it's, that's why I'm not like a huge horror movie fanatic.
Well, because I'm more of a psychological thriller person. That's me. Because I love those.
Well, it's kind of like that's what M. Night does, right? It's that classic horror. It's what you don't see that's terrifying.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's a formula, and like Hitchcock did it too. Of like
you could build that suspense and all that without if you're able to build that same type of suspense and fear without having the gore and all of that, then you're doing a real good job. Those are the type of movies I like that have you on pins and needles, and it's like you ain't got to worry about somebody getting their head cut off or something. It's just crazy, Like for example, when Saw first came out, yes, there was blood and all that in there. But just the fact that, it really showed you what people were willing to do to survive in some cases. How they
Right.
would do things they normally wouldn't do, or they'd be put in these situations where, you know, um, they get tested in a way to make them, do stuff they normally wouldn't do.
Right.
So, movies like that where you're just kind of like, man, because you can kind of see yourself, put yourself in that kind of situation. You can't put yourself in a situation where Jason's chasing after you,
Oh
or Michael
yeah,
Myers or
because
Freddy
you
Krueger.
have you see the actual
Yeah,
perpetrator. You know who the bad guy is to
yeah.
a
Like
greater
Saw,
extent.
you can see someone that crazy doing some crazy stuff like that
Hmm.
because people have done some pretty crazy stuff.
Well, it's kind of like it just pushes the potential, like the evil potential of human nature, of survival of the
Exactly.
fittest into context, right? And
Yes.
it's
Yes.
real extreme, and it's like I wasn't into that at all. I was like, no, I'm good. Like that's good horror. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not into blood and gore. I don't,
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I just
Yeah.
have always been that way. But I think like I love killer animal movies though.
Yeah.
Like
What was the last killer? I'm trying to
Crawl.
think. Okay.
I think that was the last one in theaters, at least as far as I'm aware, is Crawl. That was the one with the alligators, and
Yeah.
that was more of a, but yeah, that's like your killer
I'm
animal
trying
movie,
to
right?
think.
Then I watched that stupid ass open. Oh God, what was it? The one with the sharks. The couple gets left in the ocean.
Oh, Open Water.
Thank you,
That one.
open water.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Holy shit! And I know it's based on obviously, loosely based on a true story that this
Yeah.
actually happened, but it is such a fucked up movie. I was like, oh my God, it was horrifying.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Tom Squirrel's scared of deep water to begin with, like that kind of
Yeah.
deep water. He's like, hell
Yeah.
no, he wouldn't
The
even sit
Meg.
down.
That's what I was thinking of. The Meg, about the
Mm-hmm.
megalodon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh
that
yeah,
was
that's
the,
right.
I
That
think that
came
was
out.
like the last one.
Jason Statham was in that.
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
last one I really sat down and watched. Like I remember, I remember, I watched Cujo as a kid. I watched
Yeah.
Man's Best Friend. That was the one I was like, man.
Man's Best Friend was like, what? Okay.
They were doing some genetic splicing on that dog and made
That
him.
was some mutated dog shit. That wasn't like Cujo, who's just a little fucked up and
Yeah,
like
no,
possessed,
this dog was able to climb up trees and do all kind of crazy. I'm like, whoa.
No, it's like, what was it? Okay, there was a movie that came out. It came out, I want to say, late 70s, early 80s, and it was called Orca. And it was about, this was like a huge thing. I remember this when I was very, very little.
Killer whale?
Yes, and it was like it killed people and stuff. It was kind of like taking Jaws, but putting it in the perspective of a killer whale. And there
Hey,
was this.
there's some apex predators for real. Like if you watch a nature documentary, you think you're like, oh, Free Willy, and watch them hunt. They
Right.
they do not play.
No. And like, so this whole movie is about these killer whales that hunt people, basically, or this killer whale specifically.
Yeah.
And there was this huge outcry about it because it demonized killer whales like they're man eaters, because people were terrified after watching it, just like they were with Jaws. And I'm like, people, no. I mean, now if you piss off Mother Nature, I can't make any promises. I don't know. Things could get a little fucked up. It'll be like The Happening, but like animals.
Just watch Free Willy and calm down. And they good, but
Right.
they like in the wild. There's some ruthless
Oh, hell
apex
yeah.
predators. They don't play.
You see
They'll
how they
kill sharks. They don't
right.
play.
I was just gonna say what they do to sharks. Oh my God, dude.
They do not play. They're like an apex predator out there in the wild. And it was crazy. I didn't know that until, I sat down and watched a documentary on them a long time ago. Because before you would think, oh, they eat some little fish like regular whales.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Oh, hell no. Like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, and then you have these nature photographers out there in these itty bitty little boats.
Yeah.
Watching this shit. And I'm like, no. Like, nothing in me is like, that's a good idea. I know they're gentle
when
to
it comes
a point.
to hunting, they hunt in pods or packs or whatever you call a group of orcas. But they hunt and they're smart. They're smart in how they hunt. And they're showing like what they did with certain whales or sharks. They'll hit them so much where they kind of like knock them all unconscious or whatever, and then they take them down all the way down.
See, my fear is like you ever saw those videos of like the fishermen? They're out like maybe in San Francisco, and all of a sudden a seal jumps in their boat to get away from something.
Yeah.
First thing I'm thinking is you're gonna get a whale knocking your boat flat to get this fucking seal.
Yeah, it was swimming around. It was waiting too.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, they'll circle like wherever they think that they're at, and it's like, dude, I don't want to be a part of this. Why you got? I'd be like,
would you kick that seal back in the water?
Yeah, I'd be like, sorry, guy, you better learn to swim somewhere else.
So cool.
I don't give a damn. I'm like, because that's the first thing I think about, right? I'm like, I don't want none of this. Oh, it's so cute. And then you see the seal, it's got the look like panic on their face. You're like, who's chasing your ass? And then the person who's taking it is like, oh, aren't you cute? I'm like, you're gonna die. That shark, right? Or you're gonna get a shark, like kind of like a cartoon. The shark's gonna jump into your boat to get this fucking seal. I'm like, no, man, who's chasing it? That's what you should be questioning. Not, cute is this little seal? Isn't it cute? I'm gonna throw your seal ass in the water if you're getting chased by it.
Not today, sorry.
No,
so cold.
I'm sorry, man, but if it's like a great white shark that's 3 times the size of my boat, your ass is getting tossed in. I'm sorry.
Man.
I don't even know. Little seal friend. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. If Mother Nature needs a bouncer, it's fine. I'm there.
Like, don't worry, I got y'all. Here's y'all food.
Fuck that. Because that's the first thing I think. I'm like, who's chasing your ass? It's like these videos, right, where the guys are walking through the woods with it. Like, I always say this, but it's true. Walking through the woods with a flashlight, and they see all these animals run by them to get away from whatever, right? And you're in this fool, in most cases, still walking. I wonder what they're running from. Hilk, hilk, and he's still walking. I'm like, that motherfucker's gonna die. That's what he's gonna do.
Like,
they're gonna find body parts. If I saw forest animals running away in the direction of which I'm walking, I'm following them.
Yeah. Like, I ain't got time to be sitting here looking. No, I'm out.
Because, like, what is it? Because I went through a phase where, like, all I was listening to was, like, Bigfoot stuff and, like, Dogman. Right. Oh, my God. Like, the Dogman shit. Oh, hell no.
Man, I and I still am. Like, when it comes to cryptozoology stuff and all that, I've always like had a big interest in that. First learning about Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and the Jersey Devil and the Mothman and all of that. It really piqued my interest when I was younger, so I always kind of stayed with that. Any little sightings I can come across on the web or videos, I'll watch them or whatever. So that's always, something I'm into when it comes to the cryptoid stuff. So, like
I'm, I've been on YouTube obviously a long time, but I listen to, we all do. We have like certain channels we stuck to over time, or we remember. And like I remember like when there was a lot of these encounters they were talking about with like the half dog, half human, like a human form, like a humanoid dog. And the people, of course, the Bigfoot community is like, oh, that's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But there were so many people that had these experiences. I knew someone who did, and like personally knew someone, and they were telling me about it. They had it happen in, I think in Colorado, when they were very young, and it scared the shit out of them. And when they would talk about it, they would start like flushing and sweating, like it scared them to this day. That's to me was like, I had never seen this person do that before. About, he was a hunter too. Like he grew up hunting as a kid, and he was native, and he told me, he's like, I swear upon all things, he's like, this happened. And that it was part of that known area though, that these humanoids were in, maybe the Four Corners area of Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, that little four corners of the state area for context. But there's a lot of really good YouTubers that have had like podcasts they made. Like the one that I like the most is Vic Cundiff's Dogman Encounter show. And he's on YouTube, but you can find him on like Audible and Amazon, like, just to listen. You can listen for free. And they have people that, whether they go anonymous, some of them, choose to use their real or fake names. It's up to them. But he does an interview with the individual, lets them just tell their story. He keeps it very simple and just lets them tell the story about, he'll ask questions, obviously, to kind of clarify like areas or locations or how events played out. But
Right.
it's helpful for a lot of individuals who have had those experiences, as well as there's Bigfoot community people that do this as well,
Mhm.
But to have something that's like cryptoids are one of those categories where we think we know everything about the planet. At least that's what science wants to say, but there's still a lot of questions about the evolutionary chain in a sense, and maybe there could be pieces of that chain missing,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
there's just so much, still so many mysteries
Oh,
on this planet,
absolutely.
and when it comes to sightings and stuff, it's hard because people are so conditioned to not believe, stories like this because, they don't see it in the books or it's not in the mainstream media or the scientists won't agree with it. So people are like, oh, no, you can't be right. I'll never forget there was this story of this encounter this lady had. Was it like a werewolf or whatever she's seen?
Right.
And I remember she was in a cabin and I forgot what it was. She kept hearing noises and stuff, and then she said she seen the scariest looking. It was like this thing was about 7 feet tall, blood red eyes, and it looked like a wolf, but it was built just huge, and it was just staring at her because she had these big old windows, and it was just staring right at her. And
Right.
she was hid up under like a desk or whatever until it went away. But she said she'll never forget that look. It was the scariest thing she's ever seen. And
Yeah, a
she
lot
said
of
it was the eyes that really like freaked her out because they were bloodshot red and
right.
just you had this big, huge wolf looking
Yeah.
humanoid just staring right at her. And she said she left after that. It was like the scariest thing she ever came across.
And that's that, like on Vic's show, he has a lot of
Hmm.
those types of stories. It could be like minor encounters.
Yeah,
Some of them are more complex because it's about a property or location, right?
right.
So you have all kinds of like that kind of crazy shit. There was a story from this gal, I think she was from Germany, and she was telling the story like she had a cabin in like out, beautiful area she had, but it was like primarily glass windows, the whole cabin.
Right.
And that's where she had that encounter, and this thing would stalk at certain hours of the night, and it was
Mhm.
harassing the property essentially. And there's a lot of like behavioral things that are kind of like a trend of behavior of they're just more aggressive and they're
Right.
much more violent. And whereas with Bigfoot stories, right, they're usually pretty passive aggressive, like
Yeah.
they're not going to necessarily go out of their way to deal with us, whereas this damn thing, like the Dogman stories I've heard, it's always aggressive, like from start to finish. Very few times was it not aggressive or violent towards an individual because it's about territory. It's very like, you know, alpha apex predator type behavior.
Right. Right.
It's
It
scary.
did you ever there was a movie. Did you ever watch Troll Hunter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that found footage movie. And
Yeah.
man, I watched it once and then that was it. But that was pretty interesting. And I think they were like going out because they thought I think where they originally was trying to find Bigfoot or something. I think it was like
Yeah.
there was some bear killings or whatever going on.
And they thought it
But
was
yeah, they
something
thought
paranormal. They just didn't know
yeah.
what. Right.
It was something more crazy.
Yeah. And like,
Giant trolls. Yeah.
but it's the same kind of thing. Like it's the same concept of, well, we think we know everything.
Exactly.
Because there's places in South America, we've talked about this
Oh
before.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like they have all kinds of wild shit. And you're like, at this point, I'm pretty much expecting that there's villages of aliens living in South America somewhere.
Oh man, it wouldn't like nothing.
You know?
Nothing shocks me really as far as when it comes to that because I've always been a believer that anything's possible.
Right.
And I never and my mom's always told me to assume nothing and question everything. And that's
It's
kind of
true.
mentality I've always had when it comes to stuff like that. So when it comes to these crazy, of course, certain things you kind of have to take with a grain of salt, but it doesn't mean I'm ignoring it.
Right.
I'll still like look at it or look into it or whatever. Um, because not everything is, true or real or whatever. You kind of gotta go in there and dissect
Right.
and
Because some stuff, it's like there's a lot of information. Like context means everything with this stuff. So it's like,
right,
okay, there's histories of sightings with certain types of animals.
right,
Like the chupacabra, for example, they used to make fun of all the time, but it's very likely it's a type of dog that's
right,
been crossbred or mutated, and that happens, look at chihuahuas. But anyway, like things like that are explainable to an extent because it's just a type of dog. That's what I've assumed, that this type of like animal, this hairless dog that looks messed up. It's something to do with something genetic, issues, mutated issues. Like a mutated dog has a lot of problems, but they're
right.
very aggressive and they go after mostly livestock, like chickens and stuff like that. But they're
Yeah,
not very big. So it's kind of like
yeah,
having a hyena, but it's not as big.
yeah. You don't. I don't think you ever. I don't think there's ever been. You've had reports and certain photographs and stuff of um, supposed killing, someone shot or killed the chupacabra.
Yeah,
You have footage of certain sightings, but I don't know if there's been any stories of them being aggressive to humans.
not really.
Yeah,
They're
I
kind of
don't.
they're kind of like scavengers, is what I always took it as. Like they would
Right,
go after to eat. They go kill like chickens or smaller animals, nothing like big.
right.
Maybe attack some livestock, as far as cattle, but not really humans. Like I've never heard anything about that. Just that they're elusive to humans, they stay away. But
Speaking of
yeah,
strange creatures,
goddamn, dude. I'm like, I already know.
I'm
I'm
not
like,
gonna jump scare you. No, I'm not gonna jump scare you.
mm-hmm.
But I will get your opinion on what you think this is. So, um, it looks like they found it on a beach or something. I don't know,
From
but
where?
it doesn't say. It doesn't say. But
The hell? Oh, that's weird. I have no idea about the life form.
yeah, it's just
It's weird. It's like spongy.
yeah.
Yeah,
But you see a lot of stuff. A lot of times, especially on the beach, you have these unknown animals or whatever coming up on shore.
yeah. And they're
So
usually like, some of them are like the deep sea ones, right?
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's a question is something like that
Hmm.
from like the really deeper waters, and because of all the changes with, Gulf Stream changes and, the warming of oceans and the cooling of oceans, is it killing them off and possibly just pulling them to the surface, or are they
Yeah,
migrating, and then just end up in the wrong place? I don't know.
because I mean, only a little bit of the oceans have been, discovered or
Mm-hmm.
researched. There's still
Oh
so
yeah.
much that hasn't been discovered in the ocean. So it could definitely be just life forms we just haven't. That's just been there. We just haven't
Right.
came across them before. So
Well,
of
it's like
course
we want to.
it's going to be new to us.
It's like we're rushing to space, but we already have an alien planet here.
Right.
It's so weird that rushing out into space. It's because they're trying to militarize, trying to do the militarization of space, in my opinion. But
Yeah. The whole
um,
Space Force thing.
yeah, exactly. They want to have their own version of Star Wars. But when it comes to the ocean, though, there's so many things that they're still yet discovering. There's colors under the water in the ocean that we haven't, like where all the neon colors that we have, like the lime green or the lime orange on the screen, for example. All those
Right.
colors came out of the ocean in a sense, meaning the neon colors of like the 80s and 90s. They were
Right.
replicated after coral reefs and deep water colors that showed up fluorescence.
Right.
And there are still colors under the ocean that we haven't been able to replicate. I was talking to a friend of mine where she was talking about this because she did the deep sea type diving,
Right.
and she did it for a long time. And she was telling me this. She was like, there are colors under there I've never it's hard to verbalize what even the color it is.
Right.
She goes, because it's not close to the colors we have. It's a combination of depth and all the crap that's under the ocean. You know, just the environmental factors of how you get the color. But she's like, there are colors we just don't. We haven't been able to replicate yet. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't even think of that. I can't, to think of that's unfathomable because it doesn't, there's always, oh, I know what this color is. But to go somewhere into the ocean. So the fact that something that simple as color cannot be replicated, and it's hard to really, even a camera really can't capture that.
Right.
It tells you a lot about what else, you know, the deeper you go into those waters, what unknown areas you're dipping into as far as species of fish or maybe even mammals. We don't know.
Right.
They're like, oh, that's not possible. How do you know? You know, who knows? You know,
there's another creature that washed ashore, supposedly.
Yeah, the ones that wash ashore are always like yeah, you're lying. You're lying right now.
No, look.
Yes.
Looks like a mermaid. Or, you know, it looks like a giant sea monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, a little laggy on that. There we go.
What is it, man? You know what it is? It has a hand like a human. Look.
That's
camera sucks. Whoever's
I know, right? I was holding a shampoo bottle. I don't know. Oh my god. So it's kind of like a sea monkey.
Right.
Humanoid. Oh, it looks like it's decomposed pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it's got that real, you know, waterlogged skin that's like hollowish, you know, like flimsy, like chicken skin.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's gross, but I'm like, it looks like a sea monkey.
That's the best way to describe it, you know.
You know, like a cartoon sea monkey, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the way it has like, it's kind of like a bulbous head, but it has like bone that sticks out. It looks like on either side.
Right.
Well, everything comes from something.
I mean, you know. It's wow, I'm sorry, I just seen something else funny. Yeah, like I said, it just really goes to show like what's really in the ocean that we just don't know.
Right.
So remember when we had that little quick video of the Book of Aliens?
Yeah. I remember that.
So this one is basically talking about the blue people. We're not talking about the Vegas show.
Not the Blue Man Group.
They're not the Blue Man Group.
Extraterrestrials. Syrians. In addition to the above extraterrestrials, there are a number of human-looking extraterrestrials from Sirius B, which is a part of a binary star system. Alex Collier describes extraterrestrials from Sirius B as follows. The cultures around Sirius B have a very controlling vibration. Some of the humans are red, beige, and black-skinned. The planets around Sirius B are very arid and generally occupied by reptilian and aquatic-type beings. The society is more obsessed with political thought patterns instead of spiritual attributes. Amazingly, an African tribe called the Dogon had an intricate understanding of this elliptical orbit of Sirius B around their main star, Sirius A. This knowledge was apparently given to their ancestors by advanced extraterrestrials from the Sirius star system. The Dogon described the Sirians as amphibians from a planet around Sirius B, which is consistent with Collier's claims that one of the planets around Sirius B is generally occupied by reptilian and aquatic-type beings. The racial characteristics of the humans from Sirius B suggest that they are descendants from the star system Vega, which will be described later. Preston Nichols claims to be a whistleblower who participated in a clandestine project at Montauk that involved a number of extraterrestrial groups. An independent investigator found Nichols to be a very reliable and solid witness, and that for myself, his information checked out across the board, right down the line, to the extent that it was at all possible to verify particular information. The humans from Sirius B, according to Nichols, played a role in providing exotic technology such as time, interdimensional travel to clandestine government agencies involved in both the Philadelphia experiment and the Montauk Project. In conclusion, this human extraterrestrial group from Sirius B is mainly active in technology exchange programs that have assisted the government. Syrians.
Interesting.
Right.
Now, my mom had a couple of books on the Dogon tribe
Mm-hmm.
that I still have on the bookshelf. So I learned about them when I was a kid. I think there was even an episode of sightings on them as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I knew about the Dogon tribe for a long, long, long time. But yeah,
They also believe in the hollow earth, right?
Yeah. Oh
Because
man, see
they were talking about the species that live within the planet,
Mm-hmm.
and that they are technically what we consider to be extraterrestrial, but they've been here a very, very, very long time. So essentially, they're like an earthling. They're just
Right.
they stay within the hollow earth. And like I watched some stuff a while ago, and it was probably with there's so much information about it through different people. Like David Icke, I think, spoke to one of the leaders of the Dogon, and then there was separate documentaries about it too. And they were talking about the hollow earth and these beings that live within the planet and how they still interact with them to this day, especially in the region of Africa and the continent. So it's interesting. It was like, okay, hollow earth shit.
That's funny you brought that up. You hear about the hollow earth. Have you heard about a theory about the sun being hollow?
No, I've heard about the moon theory, but not the sun. So that one's new.
All right. Well, let's hear what you have to say about the hollow sun.
All right.
There's no inside structure.
Is it hollow?
Yeah, there's only a surface. There's nothing inside.
Is the sun actually, do you believe, combusting in on
It's
itself?
not burning anything. There's no fusion in the sun. That's well understood.
Proven.
Yeah, well, there's just not the way to prove that there is any. It's only in the flares that you get fusion. That's why all the X-rays. The flares, the arcs, and the X-rays, and the microwaves, and whatever result of fusion in the arcs. There's no fusion in the sun. They don't know how the sun works.
Why do you? What's special? How does the sun make light?
It's a transformer. It transforms from some other dimension. It's not burning anything. It doesn't have to. It's a converter.
Of what?
I don't know. Nobody knows. But that's what it does. That's the only thing it can do because that's how everything works.
Transforming from another dimension.
Yeah, you could say it's taking energy from another dimension, counter space. There's no energy, actually. You can't. Most of it you can't even measure in outer space or see.
Can't see.
No, you can't see the sun in free space.
So the sun is not visible.
Not in free space. It's only invisible when gross matter becomes involved, like the Earth's atmosphere and envelope and the surface of the moon or whatever. That makes the light. Otherwise, there is no light. You can see the moon, you can see the Earth, but you can't see the sun or you can't see the stars.
You can see the planets.
Yeah, right. You can see material objects, but you cannot see the sources of light. There is no light until there's a material object.
To reflect.
So that means there's no time delay. So the whole time delay thing is meaningless. It doesn't take light years. There are no light years because there's no light. So that means that the light you see from the distant stars isn't 4 million years old. It could be only minutes old. It could be instantaneous. All the theories collapse when you can't see the stars in outer space.
Oh, what are your thoughts on it?
That's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I
mean,
I'm always.
he seems a little bitter and angry about this. He's like an angry, like Larry David,
It sounds like a former either NASA employee or something that someone didn't believe him in his theory. Like he had this big theory, and everybody laughed at his projects or whatever and kicked him out.
Right. It's
So now
true.
he's
He
become a
does
mad
sound that way.
scientist.
Yeah, he sounds just like I'm fed up repeating this.
Yeah.
And you know, I've said it a million times. No one believes me. So, you know, of course, you can paint that in whatever direction you want, crazy or fed up former scientists that worked on
Yeah.
projects related to this.
Now, you know, when it comes to these things, you know, and the way we think and people that are like-minded, we know a lot of stuff is covered up. A lot of stuff, you know, we're being lied about, you know, lied to about. So when it comes, especially when it comes to space, there's so much stuff that we don't know. Um, you know, and growing up, of course, we're in school. We go off of what we read in the books, what we see on, you know, when we're kids, whatever Bill Nye was saying, or whatever we see in a documentary or whatever. But you know, what we don't truly know what goes on in space. You know, the powers that be do, people, the
Right.
higher ups do, but we don't know. He could be telling the truth. We just don't know.
Yeah, I saw this article. It's from March 18th of 2016 from Metro,
Yeah.
UK. It says, is this picture proof that there is a door in our sun allowing UFOs to enter and exit? So this picture here, it is claimed this picture proves the hollow sun theory is correct. It may not be first thought that pops into your head, but a conspiracy theorist is claiming that this picture proves our sun is in fact hollow. For those not familiar with the hollow sun theory, it suggests that the sun is actually much younger than the Earth, and as a consequence, it has no core. And a UFO researcher thinks that this picture not only proves that, but also that our solar system star actually contains another world 1,000 times bigger than our own. The satellite image, or excuse me, the image was snapped by NASA's solar, and this is from Soho. So,
Okay.
the bright shaft of white was spotted by alien hunter, the Watcher 252, and picked up by the UF Sightings Daily creator Scott C. Waring. So this is the image. It says the sun contains an alien world much bigger than our own, is what Scott C. Waring is arguing. But Waring suggested in his blog that the picture shows a door allowing UFOs to enter and exit the sun, which of course is hollow. A giant door opened up on the sun this week, just a little bit, but enough to make a crack across the sun. And through this crack shined pure white light of the world inside, he wrote. It opened up just enough to allow a mothership to exit or enter. So his theory here is what he to put forward by Jeff Walensky is the theory suggests the sun contains no inner core and will shrink, cool, and collapse upon itself. Walensky argues that the sun is much younger than the Earth and therefore possesses no core. It will gravitationally collapse until a certain point when it will stabilize into a solid ball. Sorry, there's the theory full explanation.
It is interesting. I've heard stories that the sun, a lot of ships, UFO ships, that's how they get their fuel. They regenerate or whatever from the sun. I've heard that it's a portal to either another world or another solar system or another universe. So I've heard different theories on the sun, and I can't sit here and say, oh, well, I know for a fact that's not true because we don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Very interesting. Like this is the stuff I'm talking about where, anything's possible.
Right.
To the average person, it would be a shocker if this was true.
Oh, well, yeah, because we've been led to believe that all of our planets have similar type cores. And this is all hypothesis because we really don't know.
Exactly.
And just like there's been stories about a hollow moon and that there's,
hollow moon, artificial. The moon is artificial. It was brought into
the moon is. I've heard the moon is a hologram, like a couple of times.
Hologram.
Yeah.
It was brought into our solar system, or into I forgot how many years ago, but it was brought in. And so so many different. I've heard there's bases on the moon, and that's why we haven't went back or
Right.
so supposedly. So there's all these different theories about what's going on out there, like what's really going on.
Right.
It reminds me of, so a long time ago. Do you remember supposedly they found that big old mothership that crashed on the moon, and at first they were like, "Oh no, it's
I heard
fake."
about it.
Yeah. So supposedly when this footage came out, it was shot down quickly. Oh, it's not real. There's a person who did this, and blah blah blah. Supposedly this was part of a secret NASA mission.
Oh, I remember
Um,
this. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and it's quite sad. What we're looking at here, if you want to know who she is a daughter of man, as was registered in Genesis, meaning she is a descendant of Cain, and she was a witch and a old world pagan who was a advanced pilot, and she flew a mothership. And she is a member of the Rama Empire because the ship that she was found in registered to have been part of that old world empire in terms of the technology that was found. And she was found intact, as you can see. You'll notice some damage here on her face, on her cheek here. And this is all chipping, by the way. Her face is starting to chip here. And you'll notice some of the kind of the chipping on her lips and things like that. And you notice just how well her face looks. You can tell that when she was alive, she was a radiant looking woman, but she was also quite an evil woman. From what I understand about the daughters of men, they weren't the type of women you took home to mom, if you know what I mean. And this is pretty much the function. What he's doing here in terms of this flashlight, you'll notice that he's got this flashlight all over her. He's basically checking her skin out. He's basically checking for any abnormalities, anything that's out of the ordinary, anything that doesn't fit. He's trying to make sure everything is intact, everything is looking okay. You notice that he's putting this tube up her nose because before there was stuff draining out of her nose. So he's making sure the nose has been cleared out. And he's making sure that everything's cleared. You see the stuff that he's taking. So the type of stuff that was drooling out of her nose. This is actually tissues of her brain being pulled out of her nose. Says her death was pretty painful. And what we're looking at here is a very good picture of her, because now we get like a good front shot of basically what she would have looked like if she was alive. He's pulling more brain tissue out of her nose, and it's quite shocking. Noah spoke about these Pacific women. He said that these were the women that corrupted the sons of God, the human sons of God. They used to be married to fallen. Some of them used to be married to fallen angels. I don't know if she specifically was, but I do know that she was one of those daughters of men who did corrupt sons of God. That I do know about it, and it's sad. It's a horrible reality to really wrap your mind around how much history has been stolen from you. So you would never ever know this, and
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. I've seen this before because she originally
Yeah.
had tubes and stuff.
Yeah.
That were,
The original one I've seen had tubes like over her eyes and
eyes
her mouth
and mouth.
area and stuff.
Mhm.
So very interesting.
Yeah, because that's a more clear picture and video of it,
Yeah.
after the fact. And I had heard about it, read a little bit about it. There wasn't a lot of information about like the origin of it,
Right.
but there were people like within the UFO community and within the researching community, like that did come forward and say this is legitimate. They don't know how it got leaked out,
Yeah.
and they didn't know the origin of where it came from. They just know that this footage was accurate based on their knowledge of it already.
There was
I don't know.
There was another video, and I wish I remember where I had it or seen it, that showed them like boarding the mothership and getting to the like cockpit area. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Oh, he's
Listen,
alive.
listen to a monster yawn.
Hey,
Yikes.
monsters yawn too. It's all good.
Not.
They also
Sorry.
watch 24 all night. I've been binging it. I'm on season 6 now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I've been watching it. Watch Jack Bauer do his thing. It's been a while. Oh yeah, oh, man, I almost forgot the season premiere of the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm came out Sunday night. I gotta watch
Oh.
it. I forgot to watch it. I don't know why I love that show when it first came. I watched that show all the time. That show was so funny.
Larry David's fucking nuts.
That's what I want to grow up to be an asshole like him. That's like my goal. I want to become an old man.
You want to be like Larry David with the mask on?
just be a jerk and an asshole to everybody. That's my goal.
Fuck, man. Anyway, oh, PB's awake though.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
We're all shocked.
I think he was meditating, giving his team good energy for this Thursday night matchup. You hear about them putting what's his name on the COVID list, right? Devontae Adams.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
No, I did not hear about that.
Him and the defensive coordinator.
Nobody.
So that means
they don't play
can't.
defense.
So they can't play.
No, the rules are, you have to come back with 2 negative tests. So this week they have Thursday night games all season. If he gets 2 negative tests, it would have to be when he first got tested and they said he has COVID. But with NFL players, if you're vaccinated, according to their rules, if you're vaccinated, as long as you get either 2 negative tests or false positive, then you can play. But since it's such a short week, now if this was a Sunday night or a Sunday game, then he would have time. But they don't know if he'll be able to play Thursday because they would be flying out here Wednesday. The Packers would, because they're playing the Cardinals, but it's going to be a home game for us. So they're flying out here Wednesday. So he would have to get 2 negative tests before Wednesday or early Wednesday morning is the latest before they fly out.
Because how many tests can you take in a 24-hour period?
It would have to be.
You'd have to ask Jack Bauer.
For a short schedule, it's different. Like, let's say if it was a regular Sunday game, and let's say Monday, okay, you go and they say, oh yeah, you got COVID. So as long as you have 2 negative tests before the end of the week, you could play.
Okay.
I think you have up until like Saturday or something. But since this is such a short week, it's a Thursday night game, he would have to have it all done like by tomorrow. And I don't think it's just too short of a turnaround for him. But you never know.
Right.
We'll see. But
yeah, this whole COVID testing thing is.
It just kind of. You hear more and more people now. It's like, what's the point of going to get this vaccine if still gonna get COVID?
Right.
Because according to what they were saying before, yeah, you get vaccinated, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember when Biden was saying no, he's not going to mandate vaccines and all that? He said that.
What? I would never say. I would. Yep. Sure. Uh-huh.
He's listening to his handlers right now. Sorry.
Oh man.
We understand Biden. It's fine.
Thank you.
And more people are walking out of their jobs now. It's like it's
yeah.
It's gonna get ugly. So anyway, none of the girls volunteered to hand out candy this year. I have to do it.
Oh, well, see, that'll be fine because you got the mask for it.
Yeah, but I thought, none of them. I'm gonna have to make Nina. that Nina's not gonna do it. So I guess I'm gonna be just sitting out there.
Yep.
Hey kids, you want some candy?
You're gonna be that guy in the chair, like a lawn chair with a big old
Like
like, you
I
know,
swear, a part of me just wants to put a little table out, put
the
a bowl,
candy
and
on
just
it.
look here, take it.
Take like you don't even put a sign on it. You just leave the bowl there.
Whatever happens in the morning when I come out there, it is what it is.
Right.
That's where I'm at now. But I mean, it's all good. I mean, I'm not really tripping about it. I'll it just reminds me of how old I am now, where
Right.
I'm not doing the trick or treating anymore. I'm the one giving out the candy.
Sad face. If you could see beneath the mask, there would be a big frown. You know, like we're handing out stuff. So.
It's all good. I'm gonna be just chilling anyway because my oldest is gonna be hanging with her friends. My youngest is gonna be doing their thing. They ain't trying to hang out with their old man anyway. So.
Oh, sad face, Rich.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway.
But yeah,
I'm glad we were able to do this, even though somebody didn't participate in the classroom assignment.
He was sleeping. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention no names here. He was doing a sleep
Somebody,
study.
I had a thing.
Yeah, he was doing a sleep study. So.
Did you say you had an entire bowl of candy? Jill said on Halloween I can have 2 bowls of ice cream.
Okay, you know what?
It's gonna have Vicodin in it.
Delicious.
Some kind of.
Wow!
Like a mixture of penicillin and Vicodin and.
Oh, that's the ultimate combo.
It keeps my legs hairy.
It's hot in the streets.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, appreciate everybody who will join and watch this later.
Yeah, it was a pretty chill stream. Just
chill, nothing crazy. We want to get away from the craziness of the world.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to wear this mask every day now.
I think you should.
I really do.
I think you should drive with it on.
Just drive around, go to Circle K. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Circle K right after this and just walk.
I see people that look like that on Capitol Hill every day.
They're always passing legislation.
This is my new life going forward.
This is your October look.
Yeah, this is it for now. Even Christmas, I'm gonna be like, hey, Merry Christmas, giving out gifts like this.
Oh my God, you should wear that through a drive-through.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the whole Santa hat on and everything.
Oh my God, you should do it.
This is me now. For going when I go to get my driver's license, get it updated.
See, I'm proud of you. You found your new identity. You identify with that mask. I'm just gonna be sitting there
waiting for them to take a picture, just standing there like this, like hurry up. I get pulled over. It's this ghoulish looking man.
Oh my God.
This is my new look, so deal with it. But appreciate everybody joining in. We'll be dropping this video. Hope everyone has a safe and happy Halloween.
Absolutely.
Check your kids' candy. Don't just be giving them whatever.
No, just take the good stuff and they won't notice.
Give them that. What was the candy that came in like the orange wrapper and the black one? That's nasty old candy. Do you know?
Oh yeah, it's like some kind of. I don't like it.
I don't know if it was like peanut
Mary
butter
Jane.
or. Yeah, it was like peanut butter or something.
I can't remember the name. It was some old ass. It's nasty.
Yeah.
I don't.
It was just like here, like nobody. Oh, excuse me, nobody's eating that.
They had that shit in their basement for a year, and they're like, we'll give it out for Halloween.
This is what we enjoyed in the 70s. Like, we don't get this out of my face.
This shit's from the 70s. It's fresh from the 70s, and it tastes right.
Oh man!
Everyone, I hope everybody has a safe one. You know,
safe one. Check your kids' candy. Enjoy some scary movies. And
absolutely,
we'll be back again with some more street heat.
Yeah.
Thank
you, PB, for joining us, and you can
Thanks
check
for
out.
having me.
Do you have anything you need to plug, PB, or are you just chilling this week?
No, I'm just I'm getting plugs on my head.
That's the same thing that happened to Big Rich, and then this is what happened.
Yeah. Now
I can only hope to look that alive.
As long as my hats can fit, I'm good. I'll make it work.
Hat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
you
selection of hats.
mean like a blanket?
True.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right. Everyone have a good night and have a safe and happy Halloween.
Good night, everybody.
Boo!